Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the event director for Challenging.Events, and we're just doing this very brief video briefing about Thruxton Mass Attack Duathlon. Hopefully you would have received your email that takes you to the link for the pre-event information document. However, you might not have received your email because sometimes we go into spam. So head to my.challenging.events, and there you will find everything that you need to know about your event entry. So you'll see all of your previous entries. You will see your race number. Very important to know your race number. There are links to this video. There are links to the event document that looks a bit like this. And you'll also get a link directly to your photographs, and the results will go there. So my.challenging.events is where you need to go to know any information. So do head there and check it out. You can also make any amendments, like you can withdraw, unfortunately, if you can't make it tomorrow, or you can change your entry to somebody else. We stop that at midnight the day before the race. You can change your distance. So if you want to go up a distance, you can do that there and pay the difference. Or if you want to drop down, you might have a little niggle until you don't want to do, say you entered the standard, you can drop down to the sprint. So you can do it all on my.challenging.events. So let's go through event information. So unfortunately, it's too late now for any refunds, and we don't defer to the following year. It just gets really difficult. We can't guarantee that you can make the following year. So what we do is we offer transfers. So you can transfer it to anybody that you like, and you just make the arrangements between yourselves, but that's got to be done before midnight, day before the race. So where is it? Thruxton Racing Circuit. You will find it easy enough if you put it into Google Maps or your sat nav. The postcode, if you've got a pen, it's SP11 8PN. So really, really easy to find. You can get to it on the M3, off the M4. Once you've done that, you follow the A303 signs, but make sure you head to the Thruxton Race Circuit or Thruxton Circuit. You're not going to the village, you're going to the Thruxton Circuit. There's brown signs that says Thruxton, and then it's got like the Finnish flag, and then the signs then change and call it Thruxton Circuit. And when you're on that road, make sure you go to the Thruxton Racing Circuit and not the go-kart track. Although it would pretty fun to go around the go-kart track. So head for there. We do encourage lift sharing, so we can try and reduce the vehicles on the road to all possible. So if you can share, that's awesome. But there's plenty of free parking. So what you do is you go through the main entrance. You'll see the metal plane statue and the white and black checkered signs there. You go through, you go wait at the traffic lights. When it goes green, you go under the tunnel. So you go through the tunnel, which goes under the track, and then just follow the cones, and you will park plenty of parking. There'll be a marshal or two directing you where to park. So listen to the marshals, please, and park where they tell you to park, because we've got a lot of people come in, so we can fit you all in. There'll be a coned off section in the middle. Please do not drive on that coned off section, because that is where they do all the motorbike training, so we can't make that messy. And do not drive anywhere else where you're not supposed to, because it's a live airfield as well. So let's talk about race day. So your registration opens at 11 o'clock, and then the transition will open at just after 11. So head to registration at 11, and then you can then go to transition. So at registration, you will need some form of ID. We need to know that it's definitely you racing. So please have that ID, and also have ready your race number, because you're going to need to know that. So head to my.challenging.events to find your race number. Once you've got that, you will then sign a competitor responsibility statement. There'll be plenty of those on the table with lots of pens. Just sign one of those and bring that to the registration desk. If you're a British Triathlon member, you will need to show your membership license. That can be on your phone or the hard copy, the plastic card. If you haven't got it, you can try and get it on going to the British Triathlon website and log on and try and get it that way. Or if it's expired or you can't get it at all, it's £5 for your new daily license. So make sure you're prepared with either the £5 cash or the bank card should you can't find your license today. So you'll get your registration pack. In your registration pack will be your large bib number. You wear that on the front when you start running. You then switch it to your back when you cycle, and then you put it back onto your front to run. Our best way to do that is having a race belt. If you can't get to the shops today to get a race belt, then we do have a few for £8 for sale at registration. So come prepared, or bring your own safety pins. You can safety pin it on your front, switch your jersey around to cycle, and then safety pin it, and then switch it around to run. It's totally up to you. I've seen shoelaces being used. People have forgotten their race belts and they've had a spare pair of trainers, so they've used a shoelace to swing it around, but that's what you'll need to do with that bib number. You'll also get 2 stickers. You'll get 1 sticker to go on the front of your helmet, and then you get 1 of your stickers to go on the front stem of your bike, so just on the front of the handlebars there. So that knows that we can match your bike to your helmet to you, so all the numbers match. Okay, so put all of that on before you then head to transition. Just speeds things up. Once you've got your race pack, if you entered more than 3 weeks ago, you can pick your t-shirt up straight away. So move along to the next table to pick your t-shirt up. We have the size that you've ordered. If you've done it 3 weeks in advance, if you want to change your size, you do it at the end. Or if you didn't enter quick enough, then you can come back at the finish once you've finished and pick up your t-shirt. There's just no guarantee of your size, so we do encourage people to enter early. So you've registered, you put your stickers on your bike and your helmet, and then go and head to transition. Transition is in the pit lane. How cool is that? So that is where transition is. So before you get into transition, to speed things up, make sure your helmet is on and done up, because our marshals will check that your helmet is tight enough and it looks in pretty good condition. So do that, and then you'll breeze through into transition. So if you're doing the sprint, you'll be racked furthest away from running. And if you're doing the standard, you'll be racked closest to by running. However, that may change in the morning, or all depends on how we set up. But there's plenty of marshals to show you what to do. Also, check if you've got the drop bar handlebars. Check that the bar ends have plugs. So your bar ends are plugs. There's no holes. If you don't have any bar ends, we'll have some electrical tape or some duct tape to close those holes in, okay? So then you go and rack in transition. The start time is 12 o'clock, so we will shut registration probably at a good 22:12. So if you haven't registered by 20 to 12, it's very unlikely you're going to race. So be prepared. There's likely to be some queues because there's a lot of you racing. So just be nice and super organised. We will close transition at 11:45. So be super organised. I will do your final race briefing on the start line at 11:50. And then what we do is we set the standard wave off first at 12, and then shortly followed. Once they've gone and got out of the way a bit, we will then set the sprint distance off. Again, that might change in the morning. It all depends on how the race official is working and stuff like that. But just know that your start time is 12 o'clock. More importantly, you have to be on the start line at 11:50. So if you don't hear the race briefing, it's very unlikely you'll be able to race. We do have a cut-off time. That's for both distances, and that's at 3 o'clock. If you're not on your last lap, we will then direct you to the finish. It makes absolutely no difference. You will still get your finisher's medal and your t-shirt, so don't worry if we ask you to head to the finish line. Okay, so a couple of things about transition to look out for. We've told you to put all your stuff on. Oh, you'll also get a wristband as well, so make sure you've got that wristband on and that's got your race number on, okay? So put all your stickers on, helmet on and done up, and our marshal will check and then go and rack in your zone. There is 4 bikes to a rack, so make sure you're racked nice and neatly. There's no big boxes, there's no boxes at all, sorry, and no big bags. So what you do is you set yourself up, and then all of the big bags or boxes we will put to the baggage area. The baggage area is not secure, so try and take as minimal amount of stuff as possible. The car park is quite close, so just you can leave your bag in the car park. You can have a very, very small bag near your bike, but it has to be small. Only competitors are allowed to enter transition, so your kids can't come in, or your spectators can't come and collect a bike for you and things like that. So only competitors are allowed into transition. Those that are doing the relay, this is you're both allowed into transition, and this is where you will hand over the baton, as it were, and the baton is your chip time, your ankle timing chip. So with regards to that, the runner will set off with it on their left leg, and then they will pass that on to their bike person who'll be waiting by their bike. They will receive that, they will go and do the bike, and then when they come back in, once they've racked their bike first, then they hand their chip over to their runner. So chip timing, it is all fully chip timed. You will get a chip, thread it through, I don't have one to show you, but thread it through the ankle band and pop it onto your left ankle. Make sure that it's done up securely. I always use a little safety pin as well as the Velcro, and then it's not going anywhere, because any lost chips, unfortunately, are £50 to replace. We don't want any of that going on. If you retire for some reason, please let us know at the finish line. Bring your chip back, because we don't want to be looking for you. You know, we all want to go to the pub as well. So please make sure if you retire for some reason, come and give us that chip back. So make sure your bike is in good working order. It's probably worth doing your M-check now. If you don't know what M-check is, if you just Google M-check, easy bike maintenance, or go to the British cycling website, they have some good little things there. You can easily go through your bike and make sure that your brakes are in good condition, your tyres are nice and firm. So go and have a look at your bike now, because the technical support is all down to you. We can't offer you any assistance, unfortunately, out on that bike course. So it is always worth bringing extra inner tubes, and certainly the correct equipment, so be prepared. So we've spoken about where to put your numbers. So changing facilities, there are no changing facilities at registration, and the toilets are in what's called the paddock. It's a green building which is right by race control. Race control is the white and blue buildings, which is really, really obvious, and it's a big green building there. So there are toilets there, and they're probably big enough to get changed into, but do come ready to go, okay? Yes, so come ready to go. So water stations, there'll be a water station on the track for the runners. However, make sure you carry your own liquid on your bike, and there's additional water station as you just exit onto the run course, and we have water at the finish line. There is a running event on the morning, so you won't be able to warm up on the track, I'm afraid, but you can certainly find other places to go and run to warm up, but there's no access at all to the track. So quick recap, no changing, no toilets in the registration building, but there are plenty of toilets and changing in the paddock building by event control. So distances, sprint distance. Okay, it's all a mass start. So your run is 1 lap, and the laps are 3.793 kilometers. Very, very specific with their measurement. And then the bike is 18.965 kilometers, which is 5 laps. That's all you need to know, is 5 laps. And then your final run is 1 lap. So sprint, 1 lap run, 5 laps bike, 1 lap run. Okay, you should be able to remember that. Standard, so 3 laps run, this is about 11k. 10 laps bike, it's about 37, 38k. 1 lap run. So there we go. 3 laps, 10 laps, 1 lap. You've got to count your own laps, okay? It might be the most difficult time you've counted to 10 in your life, but you need to count your own laps. And here's a little top tip that we've seen quite a few people do. Is either little skinny post-it notes or masking tape. You can put them on the top tube of your bike. So every time you do a lap, you can remove a sticky note into your back, or take one of those labels off down the front of your tri-suit, and then you've taken them all off and they're gone. No littering at all. So don't drop those sticky notes, please, on the track, but you can put like little post-it notes or something to pull them off every time you've done a lap. So the finish line, as you enter the pit lane on your final lap. The finish is under the finish arch. Okay, so the rules, British Triathlon rules, you will know them, I hope. If you don't, quick Google now, British Triathlon rules. It's always worth doing. So a couple of the main rules I really want to point out is no drafting. Absolutely zero drafting on that course. It's so tempting because the course is really fast, it being a track, and you don't have to worry about any traffic at all, but no drafting. That means you've got to have 10 meters between you and the bike in front of you. 10 meters is enough distance to fit 2 minis. So there will be a motorbike out there, I can't even say the word, draft busting, okay? So hopefully me not being able to say the word will make you remember that there's absolutely no drafting, please, at all. If you see, it's a time penalty. If you're doing it again, it's disqualification. It's not worth it, okay? 10 meters between you and the bike in front. You've got 20 seconds to get around them. So get around them if you're gaining, and then it's their problem. But absolutely no drafting. It's cheating. We don't want it. But thank you very much for not doing it. Littering. No, thank you. If you've got gels, shove them down your tri-suit. And if you cannot bear to carry them for the whole event, leave them in transition or drop them at a water station, okay? Absolutely no gels. It's a car racing track. So if we leave gels all over the car racing track, we won't be invited back there again. So please, no littering. Again, that will be certainly a penalty that could lead to a disqualification. And then another couple of rules that the marshals look out for is your bike helmet. That must be on and done up before you touch your bike, please. And then when you come back in and you've got off of your bike before the dismount line, you must rack your bike first before you undo your helmet. So you've got to have your helmet done, on, up, touch your bike, okay? And then put your bike back before you can undo it. So you've always got to have that helmet on and done up whilst you're touching a bike. The mount and dismount line will be obvious. So you get on your bike when you've gone past the mount line, you get on your bike before you get off the mount line. No cycling at all in transition. So it's worth noting those rules, okay? So the prizes, presentations will be done as quickly as we can after the last finisher, because we want to make sure that we cheer absolutely everybody over the line. And because we've got such a wide range of age categories, our age category winner might be still on the course. So we will do prize giving, hopefully sort of 3 o'clock, let's hope. We will always keep you updated. 1, 2, 3 should be pretty obvious. So please hang around for prize giving, because we've got some wonderful trophies, and then we've got our age group winners as well. So that's pretty awesome. So like we said, we read presentation about 30 minutes or so after. If you can't stay for presentation in your prize group, age group winner or an overall winner, then we can post it out to you. So it's £5 for a trophy and then £8 for the big trophies. Or you can come in and collect it from our offices in Southampton. The results will be online on the Challenging.Events website. You can then see there's a results tab on the top, and they will also be posted to my.challenging.events. So they'll be online later in the afternoon, evening time. It depends on the Wi-Fi connection. And then the final set of results will be published by 6 p.m. on Tuesday. So if you've got a query over your time, then email in, please. Contact@challenging.events and tell us what your timing query is, and then we will get them all fixed by 6 p.m. Tuesday. If you withdraw or only do the bike, only do the run, don't want to do the bike, or something happens, remember to tell us timers at the finish line. So if you've got any medical conditions, this is really important. You fill out the back of your race number, okay? So we just know, we just got the heads up should anything happen. So it's really important that you fill out the back of that number. There'll be plenty of pens at registration. So there'll be medics on the finish line. So just to finally say that the registration is in the main Thruxton building. We've got some bike racking outside because there are no bikes allowed into that building. You'll know where it is because that's where the cafe is, so you can get a nice buzz of coffee before you start. There are no toilets in that building. The toilets are in the paddock. And finally, just have an awesome race. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday.